Alright, so let's have a very serious conversation for a second. So I was out with my homegirls and we were talking and having fun, had a couple of drinks or whatever, eating some food, having a good old time, right? So one of the guys goes up to one of my homegirls, they're talking or whatever, and then another guy comes up to me. And we're chatting, having a good old time, getting to learn a little bit about each other, right? So fast forward, time goes by, he goes and talks to his homeboys, I'm talking to my homegirls, he comes back and he shows me his phone. So he shows me his phone with a contact name, and I'm confused. And he doesn't say anything. So I'm looking at my homegirl like, what's going on? What's this dude going on about? And then we slowly come to the realization that he now has my phone number, and he has saved his own personalized contact name. And so before I realized this, I'm like, okay, you don't have my number. Like, what is this? Mind you, I did not see my number at all. I seen the name that he typed in. So again, he still does not say anything. And then I come to the realization that, oh, he has my phone number. He just saved that as his own personalized name for me. And so I'm still a little bit confused, but I'm like, how did you get my number? Again, he still does not answer. So my homegirl goes, no, he did the tap phone thing. So you basically put one iPhone to another. You tap the phone, or you don't even have to tap the phone. You just get close enough and it'll share your contact information. And one thing about it, that's weird as fuck. If you're having a whole conversation with me and you still don't feel comfortable enough to just ask for my number, I feel like that's odd. Why does it not make you uncomfortable that I don't know how you got my number when you could have just asked for it? Regardless of the answer at that, I would have said no, but that's besides the point. You never asked, so you never even gave me the option to choose to give you my number, which is a lack of consent. And so that really pissed me off, but more importantly, it made me so uneasy. And a lot of men will be like, oh, well, y'all just talk shit about men. Y'all hate men. Okay, well, we have every fucking right to hate men at this point, because why the fuck do y'all do shit like that? One of the easiest ways to let a woman go or let a woman know that you do not give a fuck about her is to make her feel uncomfortable or unsafe.
I was thinking about this because something that happened yesterday. But if you were to ask me, what is my biggest fear as a woman? Honestly, my biggest fear would be a man that cannot take rejection. Because I've been in three situations where I felt like I was in danger because a man could not take the answer no. I'm looking around now. Shit. But anyway, all jokes aside, so yesterday I went to go buy me some brake pads from AutoZone, and when I walked in, this guy, I thought that he worked there, but I guess he was just a customer as well, and he normally goes to the commercial side, meaning he owns a shop and he gets a discount. So he allows me to use his discount. He was just, complimenting me and saying like, oh, like, what you in here for? Let me help you out, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm being nice, but at the same time, like, I walked in there with the intention on getting brake pads regardless if he gives me his discount or not. So I'm not really like entertaining his flirtation. I'm entertaining, like he's helping me pick the brake pads and stuff like that. So long story short, we initially go outside so he could look at my car to see the engine, to see what kind of brake pads I need. And he told me that there was something he wanted to show me when we got back outside on my car that I didn't know that was there or whatever. So we get back in there, he points out the brake pads, I use his discount. Mind you, the discount, I paid $40 for my brake pads. I only needed front. And I guess if I didn't use his discount, I would have paid $80. So that's just the difference. Anyway, so he's basically like, he keeps making little comments. He keeps insinuating like, basically, well, since I got you this discount, what you doing for me? And he kept calling me bae. He was like, you my girlfriend now. And he also said like, he was like, I'm taking you out to dinner. Like, and I said, how you know I don't have a man? Like that's what I say when I don't really want to respond. I'm like, how you know I don't have a man? And whatever. So like I said, I'm being kind, I'm being nice, but I'm not really entertaining him. So fast forward to after I get the brake pads, everything checks out. We go back outside to see what he was going to show me on my car. Before we even get outside, the man was like, I cannot remember what he said, y'all. I really can't. But it was something along the lines of like, I owe him now. And you know what this man did? This man, I told him, I said, you must really want me to kiss your ass about these brake pads. And I looked at him and I said that, and he looked at me and he said to the store, black women. That's what he did. And at that point, I lost it, because first of all, just because I don't owe you anything, you wanted to help me in the store. You asked me for me to use your discount. I walked in there with every intention to get whatever I needed when I needed it, period. I didn't need you. You wanted to be needed, and I didn't need you. However, I appreciate the gesture. I appreciate the favor, but I didn't need you. I didn't ask for your discount. You gave me your discount. So I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you my number. I don't owe you dinner. I don't owe you nothing. So long story short, y'all, he followed me outside and he was standing in my car like, damn, you really not gonna give me your number? Like, oh, so you just gonna run off with a discount? Like, that's what you gonna do? Like, oh, you one of them. He was doing all that outside of my car. So at that point, I'm in my car and I'm pulling off, and he pulls off at the same time as me and he follows me. So I took 3 right turns, because in my head, they say 3 right turns, you know, if they follow you or not. And he following me. So I'm calling like anybody in the area that I know. I'm like, hey, look, nobody's answering the phone at this point, but I'm trying to say like, hey, I'm on this street. Somebody follow me. I don't want to get out the car yet. Like, I'm scared to get out the car. I wasn't really in a panic, but I was definitely nervous, because like I said, my biggest fear is a man who cannot take rejection. But yeah, we ended up going separate ways after, like, I pulled up on my uncle who was on that same street as me. I was able to get in a place where I felt comfortable enough to stop versus not stopping or whatever. We ended up going separate ways. And I'm just saying that all to say, like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm happy that this situation panned out the way that it did. But I don't like feeling like that. And I just feel like, as a man, if you're not in a position to take rejection from any woman, rejection is from within. If you're not a secure man, then don't shoot your shot. Don't do anything. Don't do any of that. If you don't want to genuinely do favors and you feel like you deserve something back in return, don't do favors. But I don't feel like your insecurity should be projected so loudly that you're making someone, let alone a woman, feel uncomfortable. Like, that's a very, very, very strange, uncomfortable, like, scary type of feeling to be in. And that's why I don't play with these niggas.
Y'all, I just had the craziest thing happen to me, and I'm making this video because it is so important to be aware of your surroundings, especially as a woman. So I'm walking from my hotel to CVS, and it's only about a 10-minute walk. It's nice outside. I'm gonna walk. So I'm walking down Collins, and I am always very aware of my surroundings. I always look people in the eye. I look at what they're wearing. Like, I just, you know, I'm very, very aware of my surroundings and of people. I never walk with headphones. I just always need to see what's going on, because I need to protect myself. So I'm walking down the street and I'm looking around, well, you know, whatever. I'm even looking back, you know, it's not that I'm paranoid, but you kind of have to be paranoid these days. Anyways, walking down the street, and one of the people that I see is this guy, and I noticed him because he had dreads. He had like blonde dreads. And then so I kind of looked him up and down. He had like a rainbow backpack, and he had no shoes on, but he had black socks. And I was like, okay. So I'm walking. I don't notice him anymore, but I did notice him when I first saw him. I crossed the street to go to the CVS. I start shopping, getting my things. I'm walking through the aisle. Who do I see? I see old boy. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting that, you know, I saw him a block before and now he's in here. So now I'm watching him, watching me. So I'm walking, I'm going through the aisles. He keeps kind of like going to the aisles that I'm going to. It's strange. And I'm concerned, to be honest. So I check out, and then like as I'm checking out, I'm scanning the store and I don't see him anymore. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's like in the back. You know, it's a small store though, but I was like, and he wasn't that tall. So I was like, maybe he's in the back, or maybe I just can't see him. So I check out, grab my bag, go outside, and I'm walking back on the opposite side of the street, because I saw him on the other side of the street. So I'm walking back on the opposite, and then I start like jogging a little bit, because I'm like, he's clearly like back in that store. Let me just get a little time, you know, just because I just got a really weird feeling about this guy. So then I've walked like 3 blocks at this point, and as I'm walking to the corner of the end of this block, here he comes. And I was shook. I was like so scared to the point where I just turned right back around and I like ran out into the street, and it was like cars. They were going slow, but I ran out into the street because I was like, what the fuck? So I run out into the street, and then I run to the other side of the street, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I cannot be walking anymore. I hail a cab, and I get in the cab, and it's like this older guy, and he's like, where are you going? I tell him my hotel, which isn't that far because it's only a 10-minute walk. I'm like halfway there. He's like, no, it's too much traffic. Get out of my car. He makes me get out of his car. And I was like, sir, can you please just drive me, you know, a little bit? And he was like, no, get out of my car. So I had to get out of the car. So I get out of the car. As I'm getting out of the car, old boy is crossing the street towards me. I freak out even more, and then I just run. And I ran to this place called Casablanca. Shout out to the guys at Casablanca, by the way. I ran inside. It's like a private residence here. And so I ran inside. I was like, I'm not staying here, but I'm being followed by this man, and I need to call an Uber, and I need to wait in here until my Uber comes. The guy at the front was like super nice, and he was like, yeah, it's no problem. Just wait there. So I'm doing my Uber, and I sit on the little bench in the lobby, and I look up. I'm like shaking. And I look up, and he's walking up to the front door. And I was like, I told the guy at the front desk, I was like, that's him. And there's two guys outside. And so he like radioed, and he was like, don't let this guy in, you know. And then I start crying because I'm like, and he's like, who is that guy? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know this guy. Like, he's been following me for blocks. And he's like, well, how do you know? I was like, he followed me into CVS. Like, he's been following me down the street. Like, I don't know him. I'm crying and just like really emotional. And so they escorted him away. They told him he couldn't be in front of the property. And then my Uber came like 2 minutes later. But like, I just don't know what would have happened had I not been so cognizant of my surroundings and so like ready to get out of there at any minute's notice. I mean, this is in broad daylight, and it was just really, really scary. And I'm really like shaken right now. But ladies, like, if something is off, or you know you're not feeling right, like, try to go somewhere where someone can help you. Always trust your intuition, and always be very aware of your surroundings.